Attention passionate Green Bay Packers fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC North and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Green Bay Packers' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Green Bay Packers fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your friends and Green Bay Packers fans. Let's get to the news. Now, folks, I hope you're as excited as I am because what we're about to discuss could be a game changer not only for the NFC North, but for the entire NFC landscape. We're diving into some very interesting moves and strategies that are shaping the future of the Green Bay Packers, and boy, does it look promising. The NFL offseason is always a time full of strategic maneuvers, and right now, the Packers are making some subtle but impactful moves that could elevate them from a solid team to legitimate contenders. And trust me, we're talking about a team that's been building something special here, especially on the defensive side, which has historically been a crucial factor in their Super Bowl runs. So let's start by setting the scene. The NFC North, as many of you know, has been fiercely competitive in recent years. The Detroit Lions, for instance, have been making some waves, and they're not just sitting still. They're actively trying to upgrade their roster, especially on the offensive line. But what's really interesting is what's happening behind the scenes with the Lions' secondary. They recently made a trade involving cornerback DJ Reed, sending him to the Green Bay Packers in exchange for a fifth-round pick in the 2026 draft and Javon Bullard. Reed, who's just 28 years old, is a proven Pro Bowl slot cornerback, and his stats are quite impressive. Last season, he racked up 28 tackles, snagged 1 interception, and earned a solid 87, 9 PFF grade. His efficiency in coverage is notable, only a 13% incompletion rate, and he's top 6 in slot snaps with 82%. That means he's heavily relied upon in the nickel and dime packages, crucial roles in today's pass-heavy NFL. Reed's career has been quite consistent, with over 300 tackles and 12 interceptions so far, plus 5 forced fumbles. But last year, injuries limited him to about 60% of the snaps, which is understandable given the nature of the game and his position. What makes this move interesting is the Lions' focus. Despite acquiring Reed, they're apparently still a bit skeptical about their overall defensive depth, especially after their 12th-ranked defense that allows about 20 points per game. They're clearly prioritizing upgrading their offensive line, which makes sense given how much the NFL is shifting towards protecting quarterbacks and establishing a balanced attack. But for the Packers, this move signals a strategic shift in their secondary, especially considering the NFC North's competitive landscape. Now, let's talk about what this means for Green Bay. The Packers are in a very interesting position right now, trying to balance their roster to get back into serious Super Bowl contention. One of the key areas they've been focusing on is the secondary. Adding a player like Reed, who's a proven slot corner and a staple in the nickel defense, helps to solidify that unit. Their secondary has been somewhat fluid in recent seasons, but this move indicates they're aiming for more consistency and playmaking ability from their defensive backs. You see, in today's NFL, having a reliable slot corner is almost as important as having a top-tier pass rusher. Think about how teams like the Cowboys have benefited from players like Gilmore, especially with their recent trade that brought him in for a significant impact. And speaking of pass rush, the Packers aren't just stopping at secondary upgrades. They're also looking to bolster their pass rush, particularly in the interior, which can create turnovers and generate pressure on quarterbacks. Imagine what a healthy and aggressive defense could do when paired with a secondary that can lock down the slot receiver and a pass rush that can pressure the quarterback. This is the recipe for creating turnovers and changing the momentum of games. With the addition of Reed, the Packers project to see an increase of around 4 interceptions, which is a huge boost for any secondary. Their pass defense, which currently allows about 192 yards per game, could see that number drop to around 170 yards, making life much more difficult for opposing offenses. Now, that brings us to the overall outlook for the team. The Packers are not just looking to compete, they want to dominate. They're aiming for that extra edge that puts them ahead of division rivals like the Lions and Bears, especially in those crucial divisional matchups. Their defense, with Reed as a key piece, could become a real catalyst for turning close games into wins. The secondary's improved coverage, combined with a pass rush that generates pressures, Say, from a player like Parsons who recorded 18 pressures last season, could create a lot more turnovers. And we know how important turnovers are when it comes to playoff success and Super Bowl runs. You think about the Packers' history, how they've always relied on a tough, disciplined defense to carry them deep into the postseason. Remember the days of Charles Woodson, Tramon Williams, and others who became difference makers. Reed could be that kind of player again, a true anchor for this defense. Looking at the big picture, the Packers are now positioning themselves more aggressively than ever. They've been somewhat fluid in their secondary, trying different combinations, but now they seem to have identified a clear path toward a more solid, more opportunistic defense. This move isn't just about plugging a gap. It's about establishing a new identity, a team that can contend not only in the NFC North, but across the NFC. Their odds of winning the Super Bowl have improved significantly. They went from plus 800 to plus 550 in some betting markets, showing that the perception is shifting. They're no longer just a team trying to sneak into the playoffs. They're a team that believes it can go all the way, especially with a defense that can create chaos. And what about the overall division? Well, the NFC North is shaping up to be one of the most competitive divisions in the league. The Lions, with their focus on upgrading the offensive line and adding players like Javon Bullard, are clearly trying to bolster their defense, but the Packers are now responding with strategic moves that could give them an edge. It's a classic rivalry, and these kinds of moves keep the division interesting and unpredictable. The Packers are clearly aiming to be the team that sets the tone, that dominates the NFC North, and that makes a serious push for another Super Bowl appearance. Now, let's not forget the historical context. The Green Bay Packers have always been known for building strong, disciplined defenses that can swing games in their favor. Think back to the Super Bowl runs in the past. Defenders like Charles Woodson, or even the core of their recent championship teams, have shown how a tough defense can be the catalyst for greatness. Reed, with his experience and proven production, could very well be that kind of catalyst once again. His ability to play in the slot, cover effectively, and make game-changing plays aligns perfectly with the kind of player the Packers need to take that next step. In essence, this move is more than just a trade. It's a statement. The Green Bay Packers are saying loud and clear they're serious about contending, about returning to the top of the NFC, and about making another Super Bowl run. With the secondary getting a significant upgrade, and with the overall team dynamics shifting, it's hard not to feel optimistic about what's ahead. The team's leadership, coaching staff, and players are all aligned toward that goal, and it's reflected in these strategic moves. This season could very well be the one where the Packers re-establish themselves as NFC Titans, reminiscent of those great teams of the past. So fans, stay tuned. Keep your eyes on the developments because this is just the beginning. The NFL offseason is full of surprises, but the Green Bay Packers are definitely making their move, and it's exciting to see how all these pieces will come together on the field. Remember, every move they make is designed with one goal in mind, that shiny Super Bowl ring again. And with this new addition to the secondary, they're taking a big step toward that ultimate prize. The division rivals better watch out because the Packers are coming back stronger than ever, ready to rewrite their story and reclaim their place at the top of the NFC. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YOUTUBE algorithm to keep recommending the latest Green Bay Packers news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let us continue with the big reveal. And now, Green Bay Packers fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this move? Do you think Reed will be the piece that pushes the Packers over the edge? Are you excited about the direction the team is heading? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Green Bay Packers. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Green Bay Packers news. This is a time of real change, and if you're a true fan, you know that the best is yet to come. So keep that passion alive, support your team, and let's see how this season unfolds. Thanks for being with me today, and as always, go Pack Go.